Hey guys, Jack Reviews here, and I'm here to give you my review of the latest Doctor Who episode, Demons in Bangladesh. Well, I think that's what I called it anyways. Overall, the episode's not bad. It's just basically an okay episode, really. Um, okay episode, pretty good. Overall, story's not that bad, though it could be a little bit better. It basically entails the Doctor and her companions going back in time to the 1940s, where they meet Yaz's nan in her youth when she's about to get married. There are supposedly demons going around in the countryside, and from what I can tell, there's only two in the episode. They're basically from an alien race that is originally a hunting and is basically an assassin race of people. So basically like the Predators. But now the two that are in the episode, they basically were late to the destruction of their own planet, and they ended up becoming watchers for the for the damned. That's what I'm calling them, anyways. Yeah, messages. Yeah. So they basically watch over people who died or about to die, and that is basically what they turn out to be at the end of the episode. So the episode basically starts off with Yaz and her family together on I think it's Anan's birthday, and Anan gives Yaz a present, which was basically a broken watch that was given to Anan by her late granddad. This is the man who marries Yaz's nan at the end of the episode and ends up dying because the episode is set in 1940. It's around about that time where India and Pakistan were becoming separate, and the borders were being done out. So the border between the two countries is on the is right down the middle of their land, and the grandfather of Yaz ends up getting Yaz's first grandfather, he ends up getting killed by the opposite by a few troops from the opposite country. So the Doctor and it's mainly a story about Yaz and her family. The Doctor and Ryan and Graham seem to take a little bit of a backseat, but the Doctor tends to try and figure out what's happening in the area, and not much goes on with that storyline part of it, but yeah, it's just an okay episode. Story could be better, and overall I give it a 6 to 7 out of 10. So yeah, that is my review of the latest episode of Doctor Who Series 11. And I just wanted to have a minute or two to just give my opinion on the BBC's status right now. their viewing figures are dropping like dominoes for most of the shows they have. Um, because, as a lot of people know, the BBC have a left-wing bias, and Doctor Who recently has been getting called too politically correct, and not like what it used to be. So like when Jodie first came in, she was a bit like Matt Smith and David Tennant. A lot of people thought that, and I agreed with that. And I still think she's a bit like that, but a little too toned down. I mean, like Matt Smith's Doctor was kind of like a nerdy professor, and David Tennant's Doctor was kind of an action star. I don't really know what to call Jodie Whittaker and her Doctor. No, I'm really sure that I'm pretty sure that Jodie's a very nice person in real life, but I don't know what to classify her Doctor as, really, at the minute. Even I don't know if it's an action star or anything. Not sure. But yeah, the BBC keeps pushing a politically correct agenda, a left-wing agenda, and a lot of people are unhappy about that because the viewing figures for Doctor Who, a bunch of other shows have been dropping a lot. Doctor Who's first episode of Series 11 was at 8.3 or 2 million views. That was just the first episode, and for New Who, that is a very good figure. But since the latest episodes, like Arachnids in the UK, and the Saranga conundrum, they've just been very down. They've gone into the 6 millions, and it's just going to keep dropping from there. So unless the BBC get their act together and Doctor Who is allowed to get better stories, because there's nothing wrong with with Doctor Who at the minute. There's nothing wrong with the acting, nothing wrong with the casting, nothing wrong with the special effects, but the stories could be a lot better and a lot darker than they are at the minute. With because it is a little too politically correct for my taste. I mean, like Doctor Who in Eccleston's and Tennant's eras was pretty good, and it got Doctor Who back into the swing of things after the long hiatus of it being cancelled in the late 80s, early 90s, and then having a TV movie in 1990 something, 1998 I think. But yeah, Tennant and Eccleston got Doctor Who back into the swing of things, and all the storylines tended to be very good. I mean, like the viewing figures for Tennant's final series were through the roof. Anyone can say that. They dipped a bit, they dipped a little for Matt Smith's era. It was more, but they were still very high for Doctor Who, and it used to be kind of a show that everyone should watch on a weekend, on a Saturday, and it was like that for a long time until the midpoint of Peter Capaldi's era. And since then, the viewing figures have just been dropping, and until Jodie Whittaker's, until Jodie's time came, the viewing figures started going back up. I think the viewing figures for Series 10 of Peter Capaldi's era were a bit down, but I thought that was one of his better series. I really did. It's a very underrated series at the minute. so people need to start viewing that again. But if the BBC keep going on with their left-wing agenda, then their viewing figures are just going to go down to the basement. They're not going to get anything. So, right now we can only hope that it gets better and the BBC get their act together. Yeah. So that was my opinion on the BBC status and also my review of the new Doctor Who episode. So, this is Jack Reviews signing off. Like, share, subscribe, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye!